Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. In this video, let us generate Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain for the candle closed on 9th February 2024. So before generating the supply demand zone chain, a small announcement please. If this is your first visit to our channel, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action course. All the training lessons are placed in a playlist supply demand zone price action course, and I have provided the link to this playlist in this YouTube video description. By clicking the link, you can get into this page and then scroll down to the bottom of this page, and starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are available in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one in this order, and you can strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this YouTube video description. So you can also join in our Telegram channel so that before we release any video, we will update at our Telegram channel. Please make use of this opportunity and strengthen your skills. Now let us get into the report generation. So let's start Nifty 50 supply demand zone chain starting from monthly time frame. Earlier time frames I am not generating because they are all already available and still they are holds good that we have generated in the previous video during the last week. You can access the previous week reports at Nifty and Nifty 50 and Bank Nifty playlist. We have a separate playlist, so you can access the earlier videos. So now I am changing the time frame to monthly, and let me generate a supply demand zone chain for monthly time frame. And these 7 supply demand zones are generated. Monthly, we have a Pierce demand zone that is on 2nd October 2021. It is already pierced. Just below that, there is one more demand zone that is between the levels of 15,336 to 15,661, zone high and zone low. And it is not easy to get into monthly zone in the near future. If at all something crash happens, otherwise it might be difficult. Maybe a new demand zone has to be created, monthly demand zone, in the coming months. So there is nothing much to observe from this monthly time frame. So let me go back. Let me go to the weekly. Let me generate the supply demand zone chain. So this is the weekly chain, and here we have a all-time high demand zone on weekly time frame. We didn't have any supply zone, and these levels are 19,875 to 19,670, zone high and zone low. So that means if at all prices comes to 19,875, we get a weekly support for Nifty 50. See, this chain indicates where exactly the support or resistance we can find based on the immediate nearest demand and supply zones. That is the way you need to understand the supply demand zone chain. This is at weekly level. Now let's go back. Let us generate the daily level. In daily we have only pierced supply zone. And during last week the supply zone was pierced. And the Nifty reached the all-time high after piercing. Then immediately the prices came down. Just pierced and came down. So that means because the order flow in the supply zone is already pending orders are consumed, there are higher chances that again a new all-time high it will reach. But see the demand zone. This is a high liquidity demand zone at present. At what levels it is? We are having at 21,477 to 21,232. So this is the level Currently, Nifty is having a strong support because the daily demand zone is a high liquidity demand zone. But still, are there any further strong supports that we can understand in the further lower time frames based on the high liquidity zones? But currently, remember, at 21,147, sorry, 21,477 to 21,232, during this level, between these levels, Nifty gets some strong support because of this high liquidity zone. So let me go back and generate 125 minutes zones. Look into this 125. Here we have supply zones are there. One supply zone is already pierced, and another supply zone is a newly created supply zone between 7th and 8th February. Last Thursday, this zone was created. And what level high liquidity zone is there? At 20,000 it is there. 20,079 to 20,015 as per 125 minutes. And even we have, but this is already pierced, the next demand zone is 21,401 to 21,247. Probably this is the zone inside the daily high liquidity demand zone. Now let us look into 75 minutes. We may get more clarity. Supply demand zone chain. In 75 minutes, there is a high liquidity supply zone is created, 75 minutes level. Probably this might be acting as a strong resistance because it is a supply zone. The levels are 22,011 to 21,860. Probably this might be acting as a strong resistance for some time. Then what about demand zone? This is a high liquidity zone, but low priority high liquidity zone. So probably immediately at 21,355, 21,353 to 21,213. Probably this could be inside the daily high liquidity demand zone. These levels might be there. So that means the daily high liquidity demand zone is acting as a strong support. Now let us see any further clues, anything we get on 25 minutes time frame. This is the 25 minute zone. Let us see the immediate supply zone. This is a high liquidity zone at 25 minutes level. But what level it is there? 20,000. This is at 20,000. 887 to 20,851. And the immediate demand zone is there at 20,844 to 20,818. Definitely one of these levels has to be violated because both these levels are very close. But I'm sorry, something wrong here. This is 25 minutes, right? This is also high liquidity zone at 22,126 to 22,599. This is the immediate demand zone. That is 21,533, 21,535 to 21,448. This is the immediate 25 minutes demand zone. I have mistaken. Sixth one is wrong. I'm sorry. Always we have to look immediate supply zone and immediate demand zone. But this is the high liquidity demand zone. And this is the high liquidity supply zone at 25 minutes time frame. So let me go back and let me generate 15 minutes supply demand zone chain. Let us see the immediately available supply zone at 15 minutes. This is the one at 22,126 to 22,051. The immediate demand zone is pierced. The next demand zone is this is the one 21,589 to 21,521. And below that, two high liquidity zones are there. So let me go back and generate 5 minute zones. Supply demand zone chain. Look into 6th and 7th. These two are immediately available. But which is the high liquidity fourth one, but that is already pierced. So we don't bother about pierced. But just above that, there is a C underscore SZ high liquidity zone, already tested once. That is at 22,051, 22,072, 22,051. Then high liquidity demand zone is there. We have two high liquidity demand zones. This one is already tested 4 times, 15 rejections, 46 times the prices closed inside the zone and 2 times already pierced. But it is a fresh and not pierced is a 10th one. Look into the 10th. The levels 21,298 to 21,250 level. See, these zones will help you understand where exactly short-term point of view or intraday point of view or medium-term point of view, where we get support and resistance based on the high liquidity zones at different time frames. Because this is a 5 minute zone, it will help you in understand intraday levels. If you look into 15 minutes level, probably it will help you understand a short-term point of view. So that way you need to understand these zones. But these are all the different zones currently available at NIFTY. The main advantage is the column zone. There it tell some of the types will tell you the high liquidity zones and the normal zones. So this is about Nifty 50. Exactly the same way you need to understand Bank Nifty, but I don't give you much time for the explanation, because if you would have listened Nifty 50, same explanation probably will applicable to Bank Nifty also. Now let us generate for Nifty Bank, that is nothing but Bank Nifty. Let me generate, this is the 5 minutes chain, I'm sorry. Let me first start from monthly time frame. Monthly, it is a all-time high demand zone. So the levels are at 46,000 level. High is 46,310 and low is 42,105. This is all-time high demand zone. Now let us generate weekly chain. Weekly we have a supply zone. Already one supply zone is there at 48,636 to 47,000. But remember, this is already tested once. And the demand zone is a high liquidity demand zone. That is also tested already once. And the demand zone is at 44,420 to 43,230 levels. At least we got here, probably because this is a high liquidity demand zone, At this level, we have a strong support at weekly time frame. Now let us look into daily. This is the daily chain. The immediate supplies on the 5th and 6th. These two are the immediately available for the current price. Currently, the price is between the supply zone and this demand zone. Both are high liquidity zones. TCO underscore SZ is a very low priority high liquidity zone, and C underscore DZ is a medium priority at daily time frame. Actually, this is the C underscore DZ is the highest priority on monthly, weekly time frames, quarterly also. But daily onwards, slowly the priority will come down. Daily onwards, S underscore DZ and R underscore SZ, they are having highest priorities from daily to till 5 minutes. Anyway, currently prices are in between these two zones. Both are fresh zones. And what are their levels? The resistance supply zone is 46,181 to 45,527. And demand zone is 43,960 to 43,230. These are the two levels. Now you can look for the other supply zones above and other demand zones below. Now let's go back and generate for 125 minutes. Let us generate the chain for 125 minutes time frame. So these are all the 125 minutes supply zones and demand zones. The immediately available are these two. But third one is pierced, so you need to look into the next one. That is fourth one. This demand zone is pierced, but it is already tested 4 times. Excuse me. So what is the supply zone level? 46,181 to 45,571. This is a high liquidity supply zone, already tested 2 times. This is a fresh demand zone at 44,769 to 44,429. So you can go through the remaining levels, anything. The information is available completely here. You can pause the video and you can study all these zones. So let me go back and generate this 75 minutes. The 6th and the 7th, these are the immediately available. That means currently Nifty is in between these two zones at 75 minutes level. Excuse me. So 46,181 to 45,649 is the resistance, that is supply zone. 45,481 to 45,263, that is the support, that is nothing but demand zone. But both these are all normal demand and supply zones. The high liquidity demand zone is there at 9th, that is 44,397. to 44,248. Excuse me. And the high liquidity supply zone is at 3, serial number 3. Already tested 4 times, so 9 rejections from this zone. So it is holding the prices. Where it is holding? At 48,450 to 48,134. Strongly it is holding the prices, not letting the prices go up. Now let's go back and generate 25 minutes. In 25 minutes, immediately available supply zone and demand zone are at serial numbers 5 and 6. 5th one is a high liquidity supply zone, but it is a low priority supply zone at 25 minutes. C underscore SZ is low priority from daily and below. I cannot say low priority, maybe medium priority. This is the immediately available demand zones. Seventh one is again a medium priority, high liquidity demand zone. And below that, we have high priority, high liquidity demand zone. Eighth one, probably 43,871, 43,800. It could be a strong support. Then what about on the top? Already fifth one is a medium term. Probably Nifty might be moving at 46,350 to 46,222. That could be the resistance levels. But study these zones, you will get clarity. You can draw on the charts and you can study. Do not study directly. Take these zones and draw it on the charts at 25 minutes time frame. Now let me go back. Generate for 15 minutes time frame. See, I already explained in the earlier videos clearly exactly how to make use of that. Because repeating the same in every video will take a lot of time. That's why I'm quickly going through them. I'm just showing you what is the immediately available demand and supply zones. That is 7 and 8. These are the 15 minutes immediately available supply zone and demand zone. Currently, our price is in between these two zones. And the seventh one supply zone is the resistance supply zone. 46,051 to 45,897. So study the zones below them. Just giving you for your further study. Next one is, the last one is 5 minutes. Let me generate the chain. The supply zones, immediately available supply zone is 12th and 13th is immediately available demand zone. See here, both are high liquidity supply zone and demand zone, 5 minutes level. One of these levels should be broken. Then the bank nifty price direction will be, we get clarity when one of these zones are violated. Probably whichever the zone is violated, in that direction price movement will be there. So what is these levels? 46,051 to 45,930. This is the resistance for bank nifty, and 45,456 to 45,378. This is for tomorrow's Monday's resistance and support levels. But one of these things should be violated to determine the overall price direction for tomorrow's market. I mean tomorrow's bank nifty. Why I'm saying? Because both are high liquidity zones. So whichever the high liquidity zone is violated first, probably in that direction you will see the price movement. So that's why keep these two zones in our mind. See, let us assume, for example, if demand zone is violated, the next high liquidity is 15th. Probably there we may get support again. At what level? That is 44,595 to 44,526. Suppose supply zone is violated. What is the immediately available high liquidity supply zone? 8th one. Probably there we get the resistance. That is at 47,212 to 47,066 at that level. So this is the way you have to make use of this information. Sorry, the 8th one is 47,212 to 47,066. There it gets the support. But even before 8th, 9th, we have a low priority high liquidity zone. Sometimes this also could act as a resistance. Even though it is low priority, maybe in the real market it might be holding the prices. That possibility is also there. That means ninth or 8th will act as a strong resistance. If 12th, the immediately available resistance is broken, that means the supply zone is violated. So this is the way you should understand by looking into the high liquidity zones at lower time frame. So these zones will be helping you to understand the intraday levels. So this is about supply demand zone chain for Nifty and Bank Nifty as per the zones generated by the NeoStock software. Hope this information is useful to you. Let us all meet in our next video. Thank you.